y'all. Welcome back to another episode of Workshop This. Today, let's make some washi tape out of masking tape. I do this so much. I've been doing it for a long time. I love making my own materials that I use in my art. Many of you who've been following me for a while know I'm a big believer and an encourager and hopefully an inspirer of making your own papers and tapes and things that you use in your artwork. There's nothing wrong with purchasing things. I purchase a lot of things out there that may speak to me. There could be papers, handmade papers, just things that are unique that I can see. I can work them back in my style. But always be thinking about how you can work things back in your style versus purchasing something that's kind of already laid out for you. These are the stamps, these are the pages, these are the this. It's okay if that's what you like doing. So, I'm a big believer. There's no rights and no wrongs. So let's start there. Get in wherever you fit in, whatever you like. But many people who follow me like the idea that I'm showing you how to make your own things or how to integrate your things with traditional. So for instance, washi tape. I remember when washi tape was all the craze. And there was a lot of really neat ones out there that I liked. They had scripting on it and things like that I did use in my work. But I found that I kind of grew tired pretty quickly of them because every time I used them, I felt like they were just too uniform and they just looked like the same thing over and over again. I didn't like that. So if you have a lot of washi tape, instead of using masking tape, you can literally use washi tape and you can print over them with gel with this process. You can make it a very dense gel print, or you can just do a layer like I'm gonna do today. And then you can stamp back over it. Which I'll be showing today. I'm releasing a line. By the time you look at this, it'll probably be right before the 30th of the month, and these stamps will actually be being released on Art Foamies. I have a number of them, but I really went in on scripting because I love scripting, and I find it hard to find really good scripting stamps. The one that I use religiously is Tim Holtz's. I love that scripting stamp, and aside from his, there weren't any others that I didn't feel always looked like it was a repeat. So I've created a series of scripting stamps from old documents that I own. These are like a few hundred years old. And so yeah, I'll be using these today, but you'll be able to find them on the Art Foamies website for sure. And I'll have links and everything to that. Okay, and we're gonna use stamp pads. So let's start off first with how I do this. I'm going to take a length of masking tape. This masking tape is very aggressive. So what I like to do is I'll take it and I'll rub it on my clothes. So I kind of just put a little bit down just to pick up some fibers. So then when I put it down, it's not so aggressive for getting it back off. But I'm using just a piece of acetate. This is like a sheet protector. You can use any kind of acetate or plastic that comes off of packaging, anything like that. I just find it's easier for me to print and store it if it's on here, and then I can come back and use it as I please. Even if I wanted to get a certain kind of line, I could cut things out and just by cutting right through this acetate and then using it. So I like to print and store like this. Alrighty. So that's basically how you're going to set your page up. Now I'm going to use a little bit of craft paint in a gold. So this is Martha Stewart champagne gold. I don't know if she has this color any longer, but she has a number of these kind of golds that I happen to like. It's just going to give us a glaze. So this is kind of like my glazing technique that you've heard me talk about and you've probably seen me do before. And all I'm doing is I really want to have the nature of this, of the masking tape, because I like the way masking tape looks. But, you can add as much paint or as little as you want. You could really do a full gel print on here and then lay it down and pick up color. Or you can just do a glaze like this. So maybe you still see the tape underneath, a little bit of it, but you're also just picking up a little color just to change it. And because I have good stuff on my plate already, you start picking up some of that material that's on the plate that I absolutely love. So let's do a little bit more so I can get the bottom here. And because I have stuff on my plate, you know, what I like to call the old wall, you'll notice that I'm just going to overprint a little bit more again. That you're going to notice that I'm picking material up off the plate, and I like that because what that's doing to me, it's adding to making these tapes look a little bit more vintage, just a little bit more grunge. That's my personal style that I like, so I am wanting to get that on there. But I apologize if you hear a little banging in the back. I'm in the studio and it's pretty early in the morning, but it sounds like somebody is, I can't tell, it's a warehouse kind of situation because I can't tell if it's next door or not. So, but anyway, so here we have a little bit of information on our tape. Now from there, and like I said, you can print as fully as you want or not. So now I have like 3 colors: desert sand, slate, and this sort of sweet leaf color. So what I'm going to do is, now I'm not going to ink up my whole plate. I'm going to kind of do light, heavy. See where I just stamped just a little bit there? Just kind of using your stamps. You just kind of want to do just a little cross section of stuff. So now we're going to grab this one. I'll use some desert sand. It'll be a little darker. So I'm going to show you. See how I did a light layer? Just a really light layer to start with. And now we're getting a little bit more there. You see that? For me, I just kind of want to create this sort of subtle patterning. And using different parts of the stamps, I'm going to use some slate too. Using different parts of the stamp and flipping it around will also give you a different kind of over texture. Now you see how we're building it up? And I have another one here. So all of these have different scripting. And just doing this over scripting will just make some really neat, in this case, some grunge style. I'm using the slate right now because I want to finish with a stronger over pattern. And any stamps you have, you can have a lot of fun with this. I'm going to go back to the desert sand, get a little bit more of this brown. And when you're done, you just have this really neat, you know, washi tape that you've made yourself just by over stamping. Also, we get a little bit more of this green. I'm going to make the green a little stronger now as an over color. I just really like seeing sections over top of what we're doing. The thing about putting the paint down first also, it just does give a little something more for the ink to stick to. Now this is permanent ink that I'm using, so it's, once you put this down here, it's there for good. You see how strong the color was here? But against here where I painted it, it is a lot lighter. And that's because I put some paint down first, and it just sort of makes this really light, sort of etheric kind of look. So it's not overly strong. So play around with your stamps, play around with your paints, and just kind of, you know, you can alter the surface kind of any way you want. And you kind of just stop when you feel like you've gotten it to a good place. But remember to use just various corners of the stamp. Don't feel like you have to use the whole stamp. They're pretty big. You can see how big they are in my hand. So they're like 6 by, or maybe, 4 by 5 or by 6, depending on which one it is. So there's a lot of area, and it's very easy just to use one portion or the other of the stamp to create. And you could use as many, any stamps you already have. But this is just a neat way to use the gel plate and get some really cool material that you can use in your mixed media pieces that also really speaks to your own aesthetic and the way you enjoy creating your art. And it's very accessible. Like all this stuff, you can just, grab it and go. So I hope you enjoyed this session of Workshop This. Any questions you have, please put a comment below the video. Also, anything you'd like for me to cover, please let me know. Put it in the comments section as a question, and I'll cover it in future videos. In the meantime, pull out your gel plate and some masking tape. Go through your supplies, grab some ink pads and some stamps. If you'd like these, I'll have the link below for the Art Foamies website where you'll be able to grab these stamps. I'm having a lot of fun with them, and just enjoy yourself. So until next week in another session of Workshop This, I'm Robin McClendon, and so much love from my studio to yours. Take care. Bye-bye.